Hello and welcome to another one of my instructional films on how to use Microsoft Teams. This one is going to be all about the notebook section on Teams. So let's take a look at what you can do with this function. So I'm opening up Teams now as the desktop application, and I'm going to go down to my Year 13 class if I can find it. There we go. Now the reason I'm using this one is because I'm not actually using this at the moment with Year 13, but with Year 12, I've already set up the class notebook. So I wanted to show you it from start. So you open up the group that you want to select the notebook for. And if you go to the top here to the menu, you can see it says class notebook. Now this essentially is OneNote. So you're setting up really a OneNote for this class. And the beauty of OneNote is that it is just that. It's about a notation sharing platform. This isn't somewhere I would recommend you get them to post assignments or things that you want to assess, but it is a place for them to note things down and for you to be able to view those class notes. I think it can work really well with Year 12s for coursework, or if there's specialised research they maybe need to do for controlled assessments. So let's get started and have a look at this. Now, one thing to just to make very clear that once you've set this up, you cannot delete this. You don't have to use it, obviously, but do carefully think about whether you want one of these first of all before you set it up. So you just click up on the setup there. I would suggest you perhaps go for the blank version, and it will talk you through step by step. What we'll have is you'll see there'll be 3 different sections. There'll be a space where you can collaborate together. There'll be a content library where you can perhaps upload material if you want to, just as we are currently doing with our remote learning OneNote platform. And then each individual student will have their own private study space. Now you will be able to access these notes, but they will not be able to access each other's. They will be able to see everything that's in the collaboration space and the content library, but only you and those individual students will be able to see their own personal notebook. So let's click on next. Now this bit does take a little bit of time, so just bear with me whilst it uploads this notebook for you. Now I've already started to use OneNote a little bit before the lockdown. I used it with my Year 13s this year with their coursework, their NEA. And what I found was really useful is that I could really sort of see where they were at with regards to the planning stage, and I could give them feedback on the type of research they were doing and also show them suggestions of what they should be doing before it came to doing their first write-up. So we can see now that it's actually loaded it up, and the brilliant thing is it will tell you step-by-step instructions on what this is all about and what you can use it for. So we'll start with a little welcome. As it says there, it's a digital notebook for your whole class. You can put text, images, you can put links, you can record things. It does lots of different functions. It's well worth just having a bit of a read of this. And it just goes through there exactly what I've told you about the different bits that are set up. It will, as I say, do a lot of different things, and you might find that this is really useful. You might not want to use it at all with your class. So let's have a look at it in more detail. I'm going to open it up here. I'm going to click on this arrow here, the navigational panel. And here we can start to see all of the different functions of the notebook. We have our collaboration space. If I click on that, it will give me a little tab where it will tell me how to use this space, which is really useful. Now, if you read all that and you think, well, okay, I don't want that anymore, if you just right click, you can see you can delete the page. If you want to add a new page for collaboration, you can do that in 2 ways. We can just go to the plus page bit at the bottom there, and you can give it a title there. So let's just pretend I'm setting this up for their coursework. And it will set me up a new page. And I can upload and drag anything I want into that. Let's say, do you know what? I don't want that there at all. Again, I'm just going to right click and I can delete that page. Alternatively, if you don't want to use this button at the bottom here, you can just right click and add a new page there. So collaboration space. So really useful perhaps if you want them to do a group project and you've given them all a different task to do, and they can upload all of the information into the collaboration space, and then they can then access it all together. The content library then, if there are resources you want them to have a look at, I mean, obviously you've got those on your file section, but you can add them to OneNote as well. If I just click on the content library, again, it will come up with a tab, tells you how to use it. and then we can just start adding a new blank page. So I'm just going to call this resources. And then I can just start to add files to this. If I go to the file itself, you can see insert. I can insert files, pictures, links, audio. There's all sorts of things you can do with maths. You can insert Google Forms there too if you want to. It's worth just having a little bit of a play around there and seeing what that's like. And then you can see I've got my individual students. Now remember, they can access it, you can access theirs, but they won't be able to see each other. So if I just click on this one here, okay, and it's already set you up little tabs that you might want. Now, if you don't want all of these tabs, no problem. Just right click again, delete section, it gets rid of it for you. So if you want them just to have a basic notation, you can just delete all those out and they will go. You will have to go through and do this for all your different students, and then they can start their class notes. And the beauty is that if you want them to do a weekly notation exercise, they can put the title and the date there. They can add in all of their notes. They can add in pictures, tables, whatever it is that they want to show you. And they can just add another week and add another week. And you've got all of those different pages. And then obviously you can kind of keep tabs on the kind of notes that they are making. And you can also leave them comments within their notes. What I often do is I will open up a conversation with them, and I'll use a different color and I'll start writing a conversation. So you can just write straight onto here. And I'd usually, what I do is I'd highlight whatever I'm doing and I would change the color to a different color, to red. So if they've been typing in black, you can put conversations in there. Okay, and if you think, hold on a minute, I don't really want that anymore, just get the cursor on it and it deletes it for you. And as with everything to do with Office 365, everything is automatically saved. So you can add pages for them if you want to, and you could leave them feedback within the notes in a different section, entirely up to you. And you obviously have the ability to delete those as well. You can see here, you can go to the File, Home section, Insert, Draw, View, just really as you would do if you were using OneNote separate from this, or if you were really using any kind of Office 365 programs. It's the same with the OneDrive and Word and things like that on there. So you go back to your welcome page, everything is there. I think this probably is the thing that people need a bit of time to get used to. If it is something you want to use in the future, obviously please let me know and we can kind of go through the different functions. But it can be really useful. But as I've said, it might not be something that you want to use at all with your classes at this time. So I would say have a little look, have a little play, and let me know. Okay, thank you very much for watching.